Welcome to Hatman Strikes Back Daily Boxing News. Now, many of you will have seen this video here. It's Turki Usyk FaceTiming Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk ahead of their rematch. And in this video, Turki Usyk makes his pro-Fury bias as obvious and as overt as possible. Now, most of us always knew it was there. He showed it to some extent ahead of the first fight, but ahead of this rematch, even more so. And he reveals part of the reason for his pro-Fury bias, and it corroborates what I said on a recent live stream, where I talked about the reason that the boxing establishment hate Alexander Usyk. And so Turki said to Usyk, "You're messing up my plans." Now, Turki's very jovial and playful and what have you when he's talking to these guys, but nevertheless, a lot of truth is said in jest. He said, "Usyk, you're messing up my plans." And what does he mean by that? Well, the boxing establishment in general, not just Turki, didn't want Alexander Usyk to beat Anthony Joshua. They didn't want Usyk to beat Daniel Dubois. And they certainly didn't want Usyk to beat Tyson Fury the first time, because the whole idea was to match Fury against Joshua or Fury against Dubois as a consolation prize. The Anglosphere is where not only most of the big money is in heavyweight boxing, but also where most of the glamour and the prestige and the public attention is focused. Furthermore, Alexander Usyk is not signed to a major promoter. He doesn't have a long-term deal with any major network. And as I said previously, he's not the favorite of the Saudis either. He is a fly in the ointment for the boxing establishment. So as much as they wanted Fury to beat him first time, double it or triple it for this rematch. So whatever higher power Usyk believes is protecting him from the biased influences against him of the entire boxing establishment, that higher power may need to push back against that influence even harder with this rematch, because it appears as though they're really pulling out all the stops now. So for example, Tyson Fury did this interview the other day with Chris Mannix, who works for DAZN. Mannix, incredibly, said he had Fury up in the first Usyk fight 5 rounds to 1 after 6. Absolutely absurd. Totally at odds with the punch statistics. Just have a look at Jabba, who did the stats for that fight, and they did a great job. Usyk not only outlanded Fury in the first 3 rounds of the fight, but he also landed the more telling blows, the more significant, the more damaging blows. And somehow Mannix has given 2 of those first 3 rounds to Fury? Incredible. But again, this is the effect that not only the pro-Fury bias has on an employee like Mannix, but maybe even the showboating of Tyson Fury. The body language, which bamboozles people into focusing on what he's doing by way of showboating and acting confident and drawing their attention away from the fact he's actually being hit with clean shots. So Mannix comes out with this ridiculous idea that Fury was 5-1 up after 6, but that's not enough for Tyson Fury. He says to Mannix, words to the effect of, make sure you count when you're doing your commentary every shot that lands. Now, Chris Mannix has just said Tyson Fury was 5-1 up after 6. And Fury is acting like, no. That's not good enough. It should be 6-0. That's basically what he's conveying. So what we have here is Tyson Fury trying to put pressure on the broadcaster, DAZN, to be even more biased in his favor than they were first time around. Now, Tyson Fury, of course, is not a DAZN fighter, but he may well be a DAZN fighter very shortly, because his promoter, Frank Warren, is joining them in, I believe it's April. And irrespective of whether Tyson Fury is a DAZN fighter or not, Usyk is not a DAZN fighter. The boxing industry in general does not like independent boxers going around beating everybody that is tied down to long-term contracts with broadcasters and promoters. They don't like it, especially if the guy is not a massive draw. And Usyk isn't a massive draw. If it's somebody who's a huge cash cow like Canelo, they'll tolerate it. But a guy like Usyk, no. They hate the fact that he's come along and beaten all the other top heavyweights around right now. AJ, Dubois, Fury. They hate it. And just to give you a flavor of how they're pulling out all the stops for this rematch, they've now included Eddie Hearn as a member of the broadcast team for this rematch. Eddie Hearn. This is another guy who absurdly had Tyson Fury sweeping basically the first 6 rounds of the fight. Absolutely ridiculous. Again, he doesn't like Usyk because he let Usyk slip through his fingers. He had him signed, and then Usyk, of course, beat his boy Joshua twice. pop that balloon. So Eddie Hearn was talking absolute rubbish, claiming that it was absolutely razor close and without the knockdown, Fury probably should have got it. I mean, give it a rest. And that's the guy they're bringing on board to be part of the commentary team for the Zone. Unbelievable. The only saving grace, and I never thought I'd be saying this about this guy, but the only potential saving grace here is apparently Adam Smith will also be part of the DAZN broadcast team. I'm not sure in which capacity, whether he'll be doing commentary or whether he'll just be doing punditry in the studio or whatever. But he'll be outnumbered. Make no mistake about that. And the reason I bring up Adam Smith is because Adam Smith scored the fight far more in line with what actually took place in the ring. He was working for TalkSport doing their radio commentary for the first fight, which was streamed on YouTube as well, I believe. But yeah, he'll be outnumbered. He might be the only voice that's actually calling the shots for Usyk rather than ignoring them and focusing on what Tyson Fury's doing. So again, the boxing establishment from Turkey to the Zone, Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, of course, they are going all out here to try and ensure that Usyk doesn't beat Tyson Fury again. Turkey said to Usyk, "You're messing up my plans. You weren't supposed to beat Fury first time. He was supposed to beat you, and then we do the Joshua fight. You're messing everything up for us." In the first fight, Usyk fought from round one like a guy who thought that he needed a knockout to win. And it's just as well that he fought that way because he nearly did need a knockout to win. Well, he'll need to fight that same way this time around. Like he needs a knockout to win because, again, the boxing establishment are pulling out all the stops to try and deny this guy a victory once more. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Leave yours in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Are you surrounded by mindless bots in human form who adhere to the norm and blindly conform? Who swallow all the mainstream BS and actually ridicule you for questioning things? Do you wish you had more free-thinking individuals in your life to network and converse with? Well, look no further. We're right here. Come and join the Brotherhood of Reason on Patreon. You'll gain access to my weekly topical content where we take deep dives on an endless variety of subjects, as well as my vast back catalogue of podcasts, videos, interviews, movie decodings, and my Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You'll also get to talk and network with myself and hundreds of other people in our members chat. You can enjoy all this via the Patreon app or on desktop and download all my podcasts in high-quality MP3. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store, or simply visit patreon.com on a web browser. Then head on over to my page and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. All the links are in the description box below. And just a quick money-saving tip for Apple users. If you purchase your Patreon subscription on the desktop site or on Android, then you'll avoid the ridiculous 30% fee that Apple charges for purchases made on the iOS app. So if you're on iPhone or iPad, save yourself some money by buying your subscription on the actual Patreon website or on Android because it's a lot cheaper. Once you've made that initial purchase, you can then use the Patreon app on your iPhone or iPad thereafter to access and enjoy your content as normal.